The Egyptian Empire, also known as the New Kingdom, reached its peak during a period from around 1570 BCE to 1069 BCE. At this time, Egypt experienced immense wealth, international recognition, and military strength. The empire extended from what is now Syria in the north to Sudan in the south, and from Jordan in the east to Libya in the west. Historians often refer to this period interchangeably as either the New Kingdom or the Egyptian Empire. Egyptian history is typically categorized into periods of strong central government called kingdoms and times of weak governance known as intermediate periods. The New Kingdom emerged from a tumultuous time known as the Second Intermediate Period, around 1782 BCE to 1570 BCE. During this period, Egypt was divided, with foreign powers such as the Hyksos in the north and the Nubians in the south. The traditional Egyptian government, centered in Thebes, sought to restore unity under the rule of King Ahmose I, who drove out the Hyksos and defeated the Nubians. Ahmose I established buffer states around Egypt's borders to prevent further foreign influence, laying the groundwork for Egypt's policy of conquest. This period saw the reigns of famous monarchs like Hatshepsut, Thutmose III, Amenhotep III, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, Ramses II, and Ramses III, and witnessed the construction of iconic monuments and temples. The empire thrived until the reign of Ramses III, around 1186 BCE to 1155 BCE, when various factors such as invasions, financial mismanagement, corruption, and a decline in international prestige contributed to its downfall. During Egypt's Middle Kingdom, spanning from 2040 BCE to 1782 BCE, the 12th dynasty marked a golden age characterized by remarkable cultural and artistic achievements. However, the succeeding 13th dynasty saw weaker kings, more focused on personal pursuits and court intrigues, weakening the central government. This instability allowed the Hyksos to establish themselves in Avaris, Lower Egypt, gradually gaining political and military influence. As Egypt's central authority waned and both the Hyksos in the north and the Nubians in the south grew stronger, the Middle Kingdom gave way to the Second Intermediate Period. While later accounts portrayed the Hyksos as invaders, historical evidence suggests they were initially traders who seized an opportunity in neglected parts of Egypt. Contrary to myths, they admired Egyptian culture and maintained trade connections with both Egyptians and Nubians. The conflict escalated when Theban king Seqenenre perceived a challenge to his authority from the Hyksos king Apepi and launched a campaign against Avaris. Seqenenre's son, Kamose, and later Ahmose I continued the campaign, eventually defeating the Hyksos. Ahmose I's conquest of Avaris and subsequent pursuit of the Hyksos into the Levant marked the beginning of the Egyptian Empire. He established buffer states around Egypt's borders to prevent future invasions, expanding Egypt's territory in multiple directions, including the profitable Levant region. Despite later vilification, the Hyksos contributed to Egyptian culture, notably by introducing advanced weaponry such as the Khopesh sword, horse-drawn chariots, and composite bows. These innovations proved crucial for Egypt's military dominance during the New Kingdom Empire. And the establishment of Egypt's first standing army can be credited to Amenemhat I of the 12th dynasty during the Middle Kingdom. Prior to his reign, Egypt's military forces were composed of conscripts supplied by regional governors known as nomarchs. These conscripts often maintained loyalty to their local rulers rather than the king, and their armies were aligned with regional cult gods. Amenemhat I sought to centralize power by creating a professional army directly under the king's command, overseen by his vizier. This marked a significant shift from the decentralized system of regional conscripts. Under Ahmose I, the army mobilized against the Hyksos included professionals, conscripts, and mercenaries like the Medjay warriors. However, it was under the reign of his son, Amenhotep I, that the Egyptian army underwent extensive training and received top-of-the-line weaponry. During the New Kingdom, the Egyptian army adopted advanced weapons and equipment from their adversaries, such as the Syrians and Hittites. This included the triangular bow, helmets, chain-mail tunics, and the Khopesh sword. The quality of bronze also improved through experimentation with different metal proportions. Moreover, the structure of the military underwent significant changes. Whereas earlier armies were a coalition of regional forces, the New Kingdom army was organized into divisions of chariot forces and infantry, each numbering around 5,000 men and named after principal deities of Egypt. Unlike before, the new kingdom army fought for the entire nation under the standards of Egypt's universal gods, with the pharaoh serving as the commander-in-chief. Logistics and supply lines were managed by the vizier and his subordinates, while chariot divisions operated under direct royal command. Additionally, mercenary forces like the majestic served as shock troops, contributing to the army's effectiveness in battle. And the age of imperial Egypt witnessed the rise of influential leaders who shaped the destiny of the kingdom. Following Amenhotep I's policies, subsequent pharaohs like Thutmose I continued to expand Egypt's influence through military conquests and diplomatic maneuvers. Thutmose I subdued rebellions in Nubia and extended Egypt's territories into the lucrative regions of the Levant and Syria, known for their valuable resources and strategic importance. His successor, Thutmose II, is overshadowed by the remarkable reign of Queen Hatshepsut, one of Egypt's most extraordinary leaders. Hatshepsut broke with tradition by establishing a prosperous and culturally rich era without engaging in extensive military campaigns. Instead, she focused on infrastructure, trade, and diplomatic relations, notably re-establishing contact with the land of Punt, a source of luxury goods and essential resources. Upon Hatshepsut's death, Thutmose III ascended to the throne and sought to maintain traditional male sovereignty by erasing his predecessor's name from monuments. Despite this, he proved himself a capable ruler and military strategist, earning the epithet Napoleon of Egypt for his victorious campaigns. Thutmose III's foreign and domestic policies expanded Egypt's borders, solidifying its economy and international reputation. By the reign of Amenhotep III, Egypt stood among the world's wealthiest and most powerful nations. Amenhotep III's prosperous rule fostered peaceful relations with neighboring powers, earning Egypt a prominent place among the great civilizations of the time. However, the reign of Amenhotep III's successor, Amenhotep IV, Akhenaten, marked a dramatic departure from traditional religious practices. Akhenaten's reforms aimed to diminish the power of the influential cult of Amun, but led to economic disruption and social unrest. His successor, Tutankhamun, sought to restore Egypt's traditional religious and political order, but it was Horemheb who ultimately stabilized the kingdom after Akhenaten's turbulent reign. The subsequent 19th dynasty saw the rise of Ramses II, one of Egypt's most renowned pharaohs. Ramses II, though not the most skilled military leader, skillfully promoted himself as a mighty warrior king. He restored Egypt's international standing through diplomacy, including signing the first recorded peace treaty with the Hittites. Ramses II's reign symbolized the enduring strength and resilience of Egypt, cementing its place as a dominant force in the ancient world. As the 19th dynasty neared its end, Egypt's glory days seemed to fade into memory. While pharaohs like Ramses II and his successor, Merenptah, had successfully repelled invasions by the Sea Peoples, their victories did not fully cripple the enemy's power. In the subsequent 20th dynasty, under the rule of Ramses III, the Sea Peoples returned with renewed strength, forcing Egypt to mobilize its army for defense. Ramses III emerged victorious against the Sea Peoples, but the toll on Egypt was heavy. Despite official records glorifying Egypt's triumphs, evidence suggests that the empire faced significant challenges after the war. The loss of laborers led to decreased grain production and economic struggles. Furthermore, depleted treasury reserves and strained trade relations exacerbated the empire's woes. Meanwhile, the once powerful cult of Amun regained its influence, rivaling the authority of the monarchy. This resurgence weakened royal power, contributing to social unrest and economic turmoil. The empire's decline was epitomized by the workers' strike of 1159 BCE at Deir el-Medina, the first recorded strike in history. Local officials were unable to resolve the issue, highlighting the breakdown of governance and the erosion of traditional values. Ramses III marked the end of an era as the last distinguished pharaoh of the new kingdom. His reign saw the onset of problems that would hasten the empire's downfall. Subsequent rulers of the Ramessid period, from Ramses IV to Ramses XI, presided over the empire's steady decline. By the time of Ramses XI, Egypt faced a multitude of challenges. The economy faltered, trade became increasingly difficult, and corruption permeated all levels of society. Respect for the pharaoh diminished, reflecting the fractured state of Egyptian society. Fragmentation became evident as the country split between rule by the pharaoh in Lower Egypt and the high priest of Amun in Upper Egypt. The end of the 20th dynasty marked the demise of the Egyptian empire. Ramses XI's successor, Smendes, attempted to maintain pharaonic rule, but in reality, shared power with the high priest of Amun. The third intermediate period dawned, characterized by political instability and economic hardship. Literary works like the Report of Wenamun captured the struggles of this era, illustrating how even routine tasks became arduous in Egypt's diminished state. The grandeur of Egypt's empire, exemplified by rulers like Thutmose III, Amenhotep III, and Ramses II, was a distant memory. The later periods of Egyptian history would witness few rulers of their caliber and never again experience the splendor of the ancient empire.